Hello friends, I wanted to share with you a type of book that was discussed earlier in the course when we were learning about the history of children's literature. Um, when we were talking about booksellers and how the market for children's literature left the school setting and went more to the public market, booksellers had to get a little creative with the type of books that would get attention from parents to spend their own money at a bookstore. So manipulative type books are those types of books. And if you recall, there's a variety. There are a variety of ways that picture books can be published now. It doesn't have to be picture books either. It could be a nonfiction book, but this is just showing all the different ways that books, manipulative books, can be published, and they usually are more money than other types of books, and you wouldn't find it in a school. You'd usually find it at a bookstore. So you've got the baby books and the board books that are made with cardboard. You've got pop-up books, zigzag books, the flat books where the little windows open, the half flat books where inside the pages are shorter than others, holes in the pages, pictorial consequences where you'd have a question and an answer, picture books with longer text, so perhaps it's a bigger size, books with minimal text, wordless picture books, and a picture strip, almost like a comic book. So these two are like the typical ones we would see: wordless, books with text, but the other ones would be considered manipulative. There is a society, if this is the kind of thing that interests you, there's a group of people that love this kind of stuff, and if you wanted to learn more about it, it's called the Movable Stationery and the Movable Book Society. You can Google it. And they do things like this where it would be considered a pop-up book. And if you study how they do it, it really is a science to figure out how to get the paper engineering to work just so. This was the first page, and then it shows how they add color and how it develops. I always keep these kind of books on my teachery shelf or kind of above, out of the reach of the everyday child, because they are more money. Costco is a great place to buy those kind of books, actually. Here's another type of manipulative book that I really like. They're popular. They're called scanimations. And as you turn the page, this little area becomes animated, and I didn't do a video of it, but you'll have to imagine that if I move this page back and forth, this rooster begins to walk. They're really fun, and they are more money. I saw a few of those in a dentist's office. So if you see any scanimation books, try to grab them. They're really fun. So here's a popular nonfiction pop-up book. I think I bought this either at Scholastic Warehouse or Costco. And inside, the pictures really do pop up in great detail. The other thing about this book is it has a lot of flaps, so oh, you can't really tell from this picture, but when you open it, the pop-ups really go outside the boundary of the book, which was really fun. And then here's a flap that you can open and find out more about this fish. And here's some more flaps off to the side. So the author of Where the Wild Things Are tried his hand at it. And so this is his pop-up book. And it is kind of controversial because inside is a picture of a topless woman, which most people don't know about. But his book, he did try to go outside the bounds of the book. And here's another picture from Maurice Sendak's pop-up book. Here's one of my favorite manipulative books. Someone had it in their top favorites earlier in the class, I remember. The Jolly Postman, and then there's also a sequel to it. And there's a postman that travels around a town of nursery rhyme characters and delivers letters to each other, and then it shows the letter front, and then you can take the letter out. And in each of the letters is different things. So here's a flyer for a supply place that a witch can get cauldrons, and then in a different letter to Cinderella you can read what did Cinderella get? Oh, here we go. A little mini book that's a fairy tale. So each envelope has different things, and it's really fun to read. So I highly recommend buying that hardcover. So another type of manipulative book that our family likes are scratch and sniff books. So you can still buy these. They're not very common, actually. I wish they were a little more common because they're a big hit with kids. You'd have to look for a little label like that. And my latest one that I like is this one. This one is a self-published book that had a GoFund page, and so they made enough money to self-publish and release it in New York. And so I really like it because it's actually a really stinky book, and so it doesn't smell good, and that's why it's kind of fun for kids. So on this page, it smelled, I can't remember what this guy smelled like. I think it kind of smelled just dirty because it was the smell of the subway, and so here's my kids' reactions. And then this one smelled like a taxi cab, so it had a pine smell to it, which they didn't really enjoy. And it also had a storyline to it, but over here there was over 20 different smells. I guess that's all I included in there. But there was pizza, there was a bakery smell for bagels, there was just a variety of smells, but most of them were not pleasant. A hot dog stand. So I highly recommend getting this book. That's our latest new favorite. And another nonfiction manipulative book would be these kind of things where you find different countries. It's usually in a library. It would be behind the library shelf in the reference section. This one's all about Egypt, and so inside would be facts and envelopes and flaps and different things to learn about that country. So they're really fun. Sometimes you can check them out at the library, and sometimes they won't let you check it out, but they do usually have a few. So this one has a little envelope you can untie to learn about something. And I think it had some codes the kids could break. This is one I bought myself just because I like Nancy Drew. And in there they have a variety of mysteries and letters and flaps that help solve a crime. So that was a really fun one to buy. Anyway, just a few ideas on manipulative books. Remember, you can't get them in the library usually, and that's something that a bookseller, it's good to get at the bookstore.